Welcome to Geek Boy Meta with your host, Geek Boy Meta. Yeah. Welcome to WWE, which is Saturday night, UK time, and also AEW All Out, which like I'm going to be watching as well. So I'm very, very excited about this. So it's going to be like, I don't know, 8 or 9 hours of wrestling, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. By the way, if you were wondering why I'm out of breath, your boy's just been to the gym for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I've literally just got back. Oh, and I also, thanks to YouTube for this, I actually scheduled this live stream for 1:50 last night, and I specifically remember doing it. I've just come in and found out it seems to have been reset to 1 o'clock, so I usually apologise because it's usually my panic attack, angst, anxiety-ridden self that gets these times wrong. But on this occasion, I am not guilty, so don't know what's happened, but I'm just going to blame YouTube either way. So yes, apologies about that. But yeah, basically, just to let you guys know that for wonderful family reasons for a change, which as subscribers will know is usually the reason why these things go wrong for me. My vaunted little partner, my son, who watches WWE with me, is going away for like an overnight thing with one of his new secondary school mates. And not that you guys need to know this, but long story short, he's going away at midday. Now, I usually have to look after my son all day and then basically get up for him at like stupid o'clock in the morning on Sunday because he's an early riser, so I end up getting about 3 hours sleep on a Saturday night. However, on this occasion, as far as I'm aware, he's going away at about midday, which means on Saturday, not only do I not have to stay in the house, I can go and see the Merseyside derby at 12:30. Hopefully, at least the second half. I can then go round town with my mates. Then I can come back for All Out. I don't even have to rush back for the missus because, like, she can cook for herself because there's no giant sun running about. And then I can watch All Out and also Wrestlepalooza. So I'm thoroughly looking forward to this. It should be very, very good. Yeah, so that's the background basically. So long story short, I'm going to be on the channel for probably the better part of, I don't know, about 6 or 7 hours maybe on Saturday, which should be really good. But yeah, I'll let you guys know about that at the end. But yeah, we'll jump into it. So what I'm going to do first, I'll go through all that. Oh, incidentally, by the way, the tribalism thing, without wishing to be rude, I don't care. I like AEW and WWE equally and don't care about all that hot noise. So, yeah, talk amongst yourselves, whatever. Not interested. Also, incidentally as well, this thing about wanting one company to die and another company to live, look, I lived through the era when we lost WCW and wrestling went to a word that I can't say on a live stream for about 10 to 12 years. So, yeah, not for me. Anyway, so I'll start with All Out. So All Out in England is going to be on, I believe it's about 7 o'clock at night, give or take. I'm not sure about what the American start time is, but one would assume it's starting about 1 o'clock. Sorry, it's in Toronto actually, and I'm assuming Canadian time would be about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Anyway, let us know in the comments if you know, because I haven't done my research and I've got no idea. So I'll just go through all the matches because AEW has got significantly more matches than WWE. So I'll just run through them and just concentrate on the big ones. So looking at my notes, like your minor matches, we've got, let's have a look, we've got Bandido in some sort of four-way tag match, which the opponents will be decided tonight on Dynamite, and they're going to be facing about 3 other teams, so we'll leave that one because I can't really comment, but one would assume it's probably going to be Bandido going over because they've only just had the tags. You've got the 0 hour, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking, my screen's over there basically, so. Oh, Depressed Warlock. Cool, thank you for that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's fine. I did a live Liverpool show the other day outside in the dark when it was raining underneath like a little hut, so fine, whatever. The 0 our 8-way women's match, I don't know, to be completely honest. I'd probably just go with Julia Hart. Seeing that they're trying to get over the. Can someone let me know who Julia Hart is in, as in their names? Because I keep calling it the Death Triangle. Oh no, it's something. Is it Triangle of Madness? That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, she's in the Triangle of Madness, so we'll go with Julia Hart to win that one. By the way, Julia Hart should not be in the 0 hours pre-show. She's such a good wrestler. I know AEW have got a load of really good wrestlers, but yeah, that isn't really cool, to be honest. You've got Okada versus Takeshita versus the Beast Mortis. I'm just gonna guess it's the Beast Mortis because he's in a qualifying match tonight against someone or other whose name escapes me. I forget. Okada all day. I mean, look, Takeshita is very, very good. Um, let's have a look. Who would like a question that would reveal something about yourself you didn't know yet? Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna go with Okada for that one because, like, he needs to lose the title to like a Swerve Strickland or a Kenny Omega or a Will Ospreay or something like that. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, so the next match on here. Oh, yeah, so there is. Let me have a look. Yeah, so there's Ricochet's new weird group with Bishop Kong, I think it is. The Gates of Agony. Against the Hurt Syndicate, and I think that's for the is it the trios the Hurt Syndicate have got. Yeah, thanks, Johnny. That's why I just that's why they're no longer on the chat. But there we go. So we're going to for the working man, by the way. Yeah, I'll go for the Hurt Syndicate to win that. I can't see them dropping the tags to that Ricochet group, which I'm not hugely impressed with or bothered about, to be honest. Ricochet falls into that category of super disappointing. Not for what Ricochet's done. But he should be much higher up the card. He shouldn't really be going around for random tag team championships, in my opinion. I think it's getting to the stage you could probably say the move has not worked out particularly well for him. I mean, he's been there for what? Let me have a think. I saw him at Wembley All In, so he's been there for just over 13, 14 months, and I really like this serial killery angle that he did with Swerve when he stabbed him in the head, as you do at a pro wrestling match. And I really, really enjoyed that side of his character. And now they've just made him this like smarmy little heel person, and yeah, I'm not really feeling it, to be completely honest. So we'll go for the Hurt Syndicate to win that one. You've also got Mercedes Bonet against Rio. Sorry, that gym session absolutely killed me, so I am going to be gulping water and tea. I do apologise. But yeah, Mercedes against Rio. I've got to be honest again, I'm not remotely interested in that match whatsoever. Look, I don't mind Rio, but my problem is you've got people like Chris Statlander and Tekla. You've got Julia Hart, you've got Sky Blue, you've got the Amazon-y woman whose name I forget, Megan Bain. You've got Athena. You know what I mean? Like AEW has so many good female wrestlers and just tremendous professional wrestlers in general that I'm kind of like, well, can we not have a feud with the ones that we've already got? And it's no disrespect to Rio, but like I said, I just don't think it's a good matchup, and I'm not really interested in it, to be honest. So I'll go with Mercedes just to go to win that one again. One match that I am interested in, looking at my notes, is Big Bill, and I never thought I'd say that about one of his matches. No disrespect to him. Big Bill against Eddie Kingston. Now, I'm a massive Eddie Kingston fan. I am like well pleased he's come back. Obviously, Kingston's been out for what is it? Probably about 10 months to a year or something like that. With like a really really bad injury. So I'm really looking forward to coming back. I just love Eddie Kingston's style. I just love the way that he says what he thinks, that he's a bruiser, that he'll just go in and batter people, but he's also really good, sound solid technical wrestler. In fact, he's a fantastic wrestler in general. I just love his gimmick. I just love the way that he's real, because he's talked about, again, stuff like feeling suicidal, his mental health, and he incorporates into his character. He makes himself vulnerable. So yeah, I really do like Eddie Kingston, so I'm really looking forward to that. One would hope that he would go over, so I'll go with Eddie Kingston to win that one, probably with a submission or something like that to make him look decent, and then hopefully we can get Eddie Kingston straight into the title scene. Maybe after 5 or 6 wins, but he needs to be going after one of the big belts. If not the world title, then it needs to be the Unified Championship. In fact, I'd love to see Eddie Kingston versus Okada. Now I don't think about it, that'd be a superb match. That's kind of the problem with the card in general, because I look at the card and there's loads of really good wrestlers, but they're kind of in matches where the matchups aren't that interesting, if you see what I mean. Like, for example, I would swap Kyle Fletcher. No disrespect to him, I know a load of people on my channel like Kyle Fletcher. Oh, by the way, thanks for all the likes for Kyle Fletcher, so I'm probably doing myself in by saying this, but I would have much preferred to have seen something like Ricochet versus Hangman if Ricochet had been built up to that level. And I'd much prefer to see something like Mercedes versus Tekla, who is wrestling in a 4-way match. But yeah, I just think they've got some of the match sequences wrong, but it's just my opinion at the end of the day. But yeah, Eddie to go over anyway. The next match is the women's 4-way fatal 4-way match. I'm assuming that's what we're calling it. I'm really looking forward to it, but I am setting myself up for a huge disappointment, because obviously I love Toni Storm, same as anyone else. I think she's one of the best wrestlers pound for pound in the world. Simple as that. Best gimmick, one of the best performers. She's top 5, lights out. End of discussion as far as I'm concerned. But she's in a match with Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and most importantly, my girl Tekla. I saw AEW's where they do like a podcast where they interview the wrestlers. AEW Unrestricted, that's it, the other day. And if I liked Tekla before, I absolutely love her now. She's dropping F-bombs. She's just saying it how it is, talking about like being trained in Austria, being in a punk rock band. She was telling this story about watching some sort of Austrian wrestler whose gimmick finish was hitting someone in the head with a rubber chicken or something like that. I mean, honest to God, I was literally in hysterics. I really do love this girl. I think she's brilliant. Just her attitude. I love her wrestling. I love her finisher. I love the spider one. Basically, I just love everything about her. I think she's brilliant. But she's in a match with Toni Storm for which is being basically just thrown together, not at the last minute, but it's only had a week or two's worth of build. Look, Tekla is not winning the title. I'm fully aware of this, but I would love Tekla to go over and become the new women's world champion. And I'm aware there will be lots of people who listen to this later or watch it later who completely disagree with me and go, "What are you on about?" But like Tekla, for me, personally for me, she's one of my favourite wrestlers going at the minute. So my best of luck to her. I'm hoping it showcases her abilities and maybe she can win the title whilst being with the Triangle of Madness, or maybe she splits from them or whatever and she becomes champion, because AEW cannot afford to mess this girl up. Obviously, I know I'm biased, as you've just heard, but honestly, this lady is a fantastic wrestler. And if they mess her about, there will be another company that takes her, and we know who that company is. So, but yeah, just for now, Toni Storm goes over. One of your next matches, so you're going into your main eventy ones now. MJF versus Mark Briscoe. To be honest, I'm not really sure about this one. I'd like to say MJF, but I actually have a feeling that Mark Briscoe might beat him, to be honest, because obviously MJF's got the better of him in quite a few situations now with the Hurt Syndicate when he was with them. Also, when he won the number one contenders battle royal, which was it all in Texas, I think it was, and he's got the better of him a fair few times now. But obviously Briscoe's like cost him the title and stuff, so I think this is going to be very, very violent, very bloody. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what Mick Foley and The Rock would have been back in the day. I'm not suggesting either of those two are as good at the moment, obviously. But in terms of back in the day, people just thought The Rock was a bit of a fancy lad and there was nothing to him. And then obviously had that sequence of matches with Mick Foley, who did the same for Triple H. And Foley made them look like badasses, basically. So I'm just wondering whether they're going to do that with MJF, just make him look proper vicious. But I'm actually going to go with Mark Briscoe to win. I don't know why. I really don't know why. There's just something telling me he may go over, to be honest, but we'll wait and see. But I'll go for Mark Briscoe to win that one. Last for good tea for the working man. Right, I'll try my best not to drink for the next 5 minutes. Right, so after that, obviously it's in Toronto, so you've got Cope and Christian versus FTR. I would have said there's no chance whatsoever of Cope and Christian losing in Canada until that random social media post from Stokely Hathaway, where not a post, they did like a video, and he stood there with FTR. At least I think it was I don't think it was part of a show or whatever. It might have been part of Collision. I'm not totally sure. But basically, long story short, he said that if they lose, as in FTR, Dax Harwood retires, which unless they're going to pull some angle where they do a thing with where it was like Mr. America back in the day, and they bring Dax Harwood in under a mask and call him Hack Starwood or something like that. I don't know, but that'd be a really cool name actually, by the way. I think just because of the stip, FTR goes over, and then maybe Cope and Christian get a round of applause after that. I don't. I was before that stipulation. There was absolutely no help. No pun intended. That injury, and in which case, obviously, they wouldn't have even a match. One would hope. Obviously, they're not going to want to lose Dax Harwood. I mean, unless he's due for time off or whatever, they find some way of getting. Like Steve Austin got fired from WWE about 60 times in a month. Sometimes, so like, look, plenty of ways I can around that sort of stuff. But I just think I'm just going to go with FTR to win, basically. Looking at that. Towards the main event. I'm gonna miss something, no doubt. What have I missed? So yeah, so your two, I'm assuming, are going to be Carl Fletcher and Hangman, and then John Moxley versus Darby Allin. So I'll do those next. I think Carl Fletcher. So I'm not even going to touch on. One thing I would say, and again to the Kyle Fletcher fans out there, again, thank you for looking at my Kyle Fletcher videos, and I know people are really annoyed me saying Kyle Fletcher is potentially one of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't think he's anywhere near that at the minute. And just to come out of nowhere to be given a shot, and like he's already a belt in it, and the Don Callis family, and he's getting a lot of exposure. I just feel I'm an old back in the day in WWE. You'd have the C strap, and then you'd have someone like Bret Hart or a Mr. Perfect or a Macho Man or someone like that who would work their way up and then eventually be given a world title match at some point, blah, 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 blah. So I come from that old school type thing, and I just think it's a bit too early for Kyle Fletcher, in my opinion. I think it'll be a very decent match, but Kyle Fletcher will not win that match. It's as simple as that. Hangman will retain, and then maybe he goes on to another feud of some description. I don't know. well, obviously he will go on to another feud, but where Hangman goes from there, I don't know. I mean, his run's been okay, but I wouldn't say it's dying or anything like that. I mean, he's been really good, but they could do with putting him in a feud for a couple of months type thing, like Will Ospreay, if Will Ospreay's fit, or Hangman against Kenny Omega for a couple of months, for example, or Hangman against an Okada or someone like that. He needs to be facing someone big, and with the greatest respect to Carl Fletcher, he's nowhere near their top 10 at the minute for me. Bit harsh, but that's my opinion. John Moxley against Darby Allin. I'm going to assume that might be the main event above the Hangman match, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think this could be really, really good. I mean, look, it involves Mox, so he's going to end up covered in blood with shards of glass hanging out of his arse. Darby Allin's going to end up jumping from the top stadium, in which then trampolines him directly into the ring where he delivers a suplex at the same time to Hangman. It's going to be nuts, and it's going to be just ridiculous nonsense, and I'm here for ridiculous nonsense, but just to keep heels and faces sort of level-ish, I reckon Mox goes over on Darby Allin, but I think maybe there's a lot of outside interference from, obviously, the Death Riders. So I'm assuming if they want to get Daniel Garcia over as a member of the Death Riders and get him over very quickly, it might have something to do with Danny Garcia. Who's going to come out for Darby Allin? I don't know. I mean, I'm really hoping Ospreay comes back, or maybe Swerve Strickland. I mean, I don't know how long either of them are out for, but the lack of Omega, Strickland, and Ospreay all being gone at the same time. Obviously, look, Kenny's had diverticulitis, so you've got to be really careful with him. And Will Ospreay has had significant injury. I mean, I think Ospreay only just got to Forbidden Door by the fact it was England and he was able to rest and recuperate. And yeah, I'm just going to go with John Moxley to win that one. And yeah, basically, that will be the end of AEW All Out. I still think someone will come out to help him. Maybe Bryan Danielson leaves the commentary desk or something. Who knows? But I think there'll be a swerve of some description. Right, so after that, basically, now we go into WWE. So, following the timeline of my Saturday, at this point, I would have dropped my son off to his wherever the hell he's going to, which my wife hasn't told me yet. I will have gone straight to the pub to watch Liverpool versus Everton. I will then probably stay in the pub with the lads and do a live reaction, possibly even from the pub, which might be hilarious. So get yourselves ready for that one. Then I'll be coming home about 2 minutes before AEW All Out starts. Then I'll be doing live reactions to that, and then I'll be getting off the live reaction to that to watch Wrestlepalooza, which starts at 12 o'clock on Saturday night, at which point my kebab and hopefully my bottle of wine will be well prepared. Oh, sorry, for YouTube purposes, I mean my glass of wine, excuse me. I don't, I've never drunk a bottle of wine, obviously. Anywho, don't drink it. Let me just have a look before I start waffling on about Wrestlepalooza. Johnny, yes, Johnny, I'm definitely well. I think I might make the second half of Liverpool Atletico. I've got a couple of errands to run, a couple of meetings. There's just stuff that I've got to take with work and this, that, and the other. I might see the second half because I might be doing something during the first half. Let me put it this way. There's a public, I don't want to say demonstration, a public event this evening in Leeds, where some of the locals are coming together, as in maybe thousands of them, to reflect on their slight annoyance about a certain person who has just arrived in the country and their dissatisfaction with his presence. Anyway, so yeah, I might miss the first half, but I should be able to watch the second half. Isaac, I wouldn't start him, to be quite honest. I really wouldn't. I think TK is fine for this match. I think Gakpo is perfectly fine. I actually think Liverpool, and I don't usually predict this, and I really hope I've not put the kiss of death on us. I think Liverpool will win 3-0 tonight. We've needed a statement performance for a while. I mean, look, I'm really pleased the lads have won 12 points out of 12 and like complaining about being top of the Premier League and having Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak does come across to a lot of people as being a tad borderline ungrateful. But obviously, we've not had the performance yet. I mean, there were flashes in the Bournemouth match where they were very good, but we haven't had a full 90. With Julian Alvarez not travelling, I think Griezmann's obviously a quality player, but he's 34 now. I know Atletico have got a couple of injuries at the back. By the way, anyone watching this and listening to this on YouTube podcast afterwards, if you're not a fan of Liverpool football, please just ignore this, but just give me a second. I think given Atletico's injuries, I think I'm not going to say destroy them, but I think Liverpool will comfortably win the match. Hopefully, I'm right about that. But yeah, there we go. Isaac Nekatiko, Gakas and Salah. Yeah, no. Hopefully not. Do you think Pep is losing the cross? In my opinion, I think this could be the last year for sure. I think it will be his last year. I don't think he'll carry on. In fact, I'd be willing to bet a pretend fiver, not an actual fiver, because my wife would kill me. I'm willing to bet a pretend fiver that Pep. I don't think Pep actually gets to the end of the season. I think he might just throw his toys out the car because you can tell at the minute it's not a Liverpool thing like trying to stir things up with Man City, but you can tell something's not right with him. I mean, he hasn't been right for. I'd probably say that Juventus match last season because I think City were at that point where the run wasn't. It was bad, but it wasn't horrendously bad. I think they'd lost, I don't know, 4 or 5 matches out of 9 or something daft like that, and they'd only won 3. And it was like, well, they'll go and beat Juventus. And I actually watched that match at the Boozer, and Man City were appalling. They were absolutely dreadful. And I thought then, he does not look right to me. And then obviously he's had that thing with the scratches and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that was an accident. And you're like, look, I'm a clumsy oaf. I'm a clumsy buffoon. Like, I very, very quick, hilarious story. When I was getting prepared for this earlier, I was plugging in my laptop. And I was trying to get it out of this socket, and I couldn't reach the point where the socket was. So I'm sat there trying to pull this socket and this, that, and the other. And I was like, right, I'm just going to give this one last blooming pull and try and get the socket away. Long story short, I pulled the socket with such force that it hit me in a place that I did not particularly appreciate and dropped me to my knees for about 25 minutes, which was very, very embarrassing. And I'm very pleased that no one was in the house at that point. Including my missus, who would have just said, I've got no sympathy, lad, whatsoever, and just walked over. So yeah, no, the point is, look, I am a very, very clumsy person, but the scratches thing with Pep, that being an accident, I was like, to quote Beverly Hills Cop, I find that very, very difficult to believe, to be honest. So, yeah, the Arsenal match as well. I mean, I'm really hoping that they can maybe get a draw because if you look at what Arsenal are playing afterwards, and Arsenal are the threat more than City, Arsenal have got to go to Newcastle afterwards. And we have to play Everton, Crystal Palace, and Chelsea. And I'm not being rude; they're all quality teams. But you do the maths in your head. I mean, you would maybe expect Liverpool to get 7 points out of that lot. At worst, 5. How many points do Arsenal get out of that other lot? 1. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm going to go back onto the WB thing. Oh, just one more thing. Will you ever do a wash along, mate? Well, John, it's funny you should say that because I'm in negotiations with the most important person in the world, yet again, my wife. I'm trying to see if I can, how to put this, bribe her to leave her own living room. because basically, as you guys know, subscribers, I kind of, I wouldn't say this is a studio. It's like a converted third bedroom, as opposed to you see, but it's got all my equipment and stuff, and this, that, and the other, and mixing desks and so on and so forth. So I can do this stuff in the middle of the day when there's no one about. At night, obviously, my lad goes to bed at 9 o'clock, and my missus is very strict and does not like noise waking her child up after she's been at work all day, which is fair enough. Because of that reason, there is a point to this, by the way. Where my studio is just above where my son sleeps. Now, let's say Liverpool score a goal in the 97th minute against Manchester United, for example. There's no way on earth I can possibly sit there and go like that. I will literally be diving on the bed, like leaping up in the air, like running up and down the high street outside my house, and this, that, and the other, and then I will get told off by my missus. Anyway, the point of all that story is they're gonna play Galatasaray in what is it, the 31st? I think it is. Is it the? It's something like Wednesday the 31st or Tuesday the 30th. I forget. Point is, I'm gonna try and see if wife and son would be amenable if I was to bribe them with I don't know, a bloody box of Lego or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can bribe them into leaving their own living room and going away, basically, so that I can do a watch along. So yeah, that was a roundabout way of me saying that I'm going to try and do a watch along for the Galatasaray match, but I can't guarantee. Same thing for the Inter Milan match, because that's on December the 9th. I should be able to do a watch along for that. And then it's whenever Liverpool are on terrestrial, basically. So if they get an FA Cup game, for example, in January in, I don't know, like Liverpool against Aston Villa in the third round of the FA Cup, and if it's on at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then I can probably chuck the family members out of their own living room, basically. So to answer your question, yes, but can't confirm because of family reasons. Obviously, if I can ever do this properly and get a place where I can do this in peace and quiet, then yes, I will do watch along for every single match, because I would like to expand into that. But yeah, you work with what you're given, basically. So in short, Johnny, yes, I will be doing one, but I can't confirm when it is. Anyway, on to Wrestlepalooza. So this part of the show won't take as long as the AEW one, because basically there's only 5 matches. One thing I was going to say about that, I don't know if we're getting extra matches. I went on, I think it was CBS Sports the other day, their website. I think it was CBS. And they were doing predictions on whether there was going to be a 6th or a 7th match, and they seemed to think that maybe we might get Rusev versus Dominic Mysterio, like thrown in at the last minute. I actually think that we'll only get the 5 matches. Obviously, it's on ESPN, and they're going to want to make a very, very big impression. And to be honest, if you look at the card, so your card is Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. That's 25 minutes. 20 minutes, give or take. Usos versus the Bronze, 15. So that's your least important matches. That's already 40 minutes gone. Steph Fakir against Io Sky. I reckon they'll want to give both of those women time to have some sort of a classic. 20-25 minutes, so you're already into an hour and 10 minutes. Bearing in mind you've got the commercial breaks for ESPN. They're going to be advertising all sorts and doing cross promotions and building up to the Australia pay-per-view and blah 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 blah. So you add on 30 minutes of adverts to that, you're already at what, 1 hour and 40-ish. CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch is going to be at least 25 minutes to half an hour, so that's 2 hours and 20. And then Brock Lesnar and John Cena, bearing in mind they've got to have their entrances, which take like a million years even to get through them. You're talking that's going to be half an hour at least, I would have thought. And then there might be some sort of angle at the end where Brock, like, basically, I don't know, kills or something like that. Not really, obviously, because I don't want to see John Cena get murdered. But you would imagine that would be 3 hours and 10 minutes. I don't think there'll be time for another match. So I think, I might be wrong about this, but I would imagine we'll be getting the 5 matches. So like I said, first match is going to be, as my computer screen just dies, which is not helpful at all. Here we go. Right, so I think they'll start with Drew McIntyre against Cody Rhodes, purely for the fact that obviously it's had a build, but Drew's had to do a lot of heavy lifting because Cody has been away becoming a second-time father, which is far more important than us seeing in wrestling. Although, again, Cody, like, you broke my son's heart, honest. Those of you who are listening, who are going to watch the video on YouTube podcast, who have got no idea what's going on. Basically, I've told this story before, but I just saw WWE Leeds. Very quick cheap plug, by the way. WWE Leeds footage is on Geek Boy Does Wrestling on a playlist on Geek Boy Meta 7381 if you want to go and watch it. Cheers. But yes, I took my family to see WWE Leeds, and my son was really excited. He's got his Cody t-shirt on. And then me and the wife found out that Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes were expecting a child and that he would not be on the European tour. And then I may have chickened out and volunteered my wife to break the bad news to my son while I hid behind a pillar somewhere, like as a father should do, obviously. Yeah, he wasn't best, but no, he took it quite well, but obviously he was really disappointed. But we still had a really good time. But yes, Cody, please, please, could you attend next year's European tour? Please, that's all I'm asking. Do a brother a favour. But yeah, in terms of the match, I'd say, look, Drew McIntyre is not beating Cody Rhodes. Not in a month of Sundays. I think they'll make Drew look strong. They'll probably give him most of the match battering Cody because he's not been in the ring for, what, 6 weeks? Maybe something along the lines. But yeah, I'm not even going to spend too much time on that one. Cody Rhodes goes over Drew. I mean, if Drew won the world title, I mean, unless they're going to do it for absolute shock value because it's on ESPN, I suppose that's a possibility, but I cannot see in a month of Sundays Cody Rhodes losing to Drew McIntyre. So yeah, Cody Rhodes wins. Usos versus the Bronze. Again, very quick prediction. I think Braun and Bronson Reed go over. They've had a lot of things recently where they've made Bronson Reed look strong against Roman, but he's still lost. They've had Bron Breakker lose to, is it Jey Uso, I think, or something like that. Also, they've had the Bronze lose to Jay and Roman as well, but said, oh, but they've done really well. And it's like, yeah, guys, I know they're doing really well, but at some point they need some sort of statement win. And I think there's all the signs there. Jey Uso is not in a good place. I think LA Knight might get involved as well. I think Jimmy Uso, I think he might end up becoming the babyface over Jey Uso. I mean, I hope I've got this wrong, but I've got this really awful feeling they might turn Jey Uso heel against Jimmy Uso. And with the greatest respect to Jimmy Uso, who's obviously a very good, capable wrestler, he isn't his brother. And I know it's a really rubbishy thing to say, and I don't wish to be rude to him, but he is charismatic, Jimmy, don't get me wrong, but he's nowhere near as charismatic as Jey. And I think if they are going down that road, I think it's a massive mistake, unless they're going to turn LA Knight and Jimmy heel over Jey Uso. But again, you've got the same kind of thing because the crowd is just going to cheer LA Knight. Don't get me wrong, I think LA Knight would make a really tremendous heel. I think he's got the capability of being a really good heel one day, but just not at the minute. So I'm going to go with the Bronze to beat the Usos, and I think probably have something to do with LA Knight, maybe. I don't know, but we'll wait and see. Stephanie Vaquero against Io Sky. Randomly, probably the match I'm looking forward to most in the entire night. Bear with me a second. Swig of water for the working man. Super professional on this channel. I think this will be a banger. I can see this being the breakout match of the night for me. I absolutely love Io Sky. Her work this last year to 18 months has been nothing short of outstanding. I love the thing that she does. I don't know what to call it. I just love the way she smiles and says, "I will beat you," and but then she can back it up. Honestly, The thing that I'd say about Io Sky is genuinely she's a pleasure to watch. She's an absolute pleasure to watch. I think she's one of the best wrestlers going in the world at the minute. Stephanie Vakia is going to be a monster of a star one day. Personally, I'd like to see her work heel. I think there's a possibility if they don't do a heel turn in the bronze, there's a possibility for a heel turn with Vakia and Io Sky. I'm just not sure exactly where the turn could be, because if you were to involve potential people who are involved in this match, you've got Oscar, you've got Kairi Sane, Rhea Ripley is not booked on that card. You would think ESPN, when they were going through the roster of people, because obviously they will have some sort of say in the match card, you would think one of their executives would be saying, where's Rhea Ripley in all this? And if Triple H turned around and go, oh yeah, no, she's not on the card, so she's not going to be there, and you would imagine people from ESPN would be like, could you make it so she wasn't there, please, if you don't mind? So I think there might be some involvement with Rhea, maybe as well. I was thinking perhaps Bailey might end up in it, but I think that's probably too many women at one time. It would probably make more sense if Vakia was the one who turned heel and perhaps joined forces with Oscar and Kairi Sane, and maybe they form a group. You have got the other option of Io, Kairi, and Oscar pulling a bit of a swerve, all attacking Steph, getting, I don't know, Io the belt, and reforming, I don't know, a new Damage Control / Kabuki Warriors, something along them lines. I don't see Rhea Ripley being involved in turning heel and helping someone to win a title match, because I mean that just doesn't help her at all, and that'd be stupid. But I think at some point she maybe gets involved. Maybe she gets involved after the match or something like that. I don't know, but I reckon I think there will be a heel turn in this match, and I think Rhea Ripley will either be involved at the end of the match or maybe midway through it in some capacity. I don't know what's going to happen, but in terms of who's going to win, I think I find this one really difficult. I'm just going to go with Io, because I'm going to go with Io because I reckon they might turn Io Sky heel with Oscar and Kairi Sane, and they form some sort of little mashup of Kabuki Warriors and Damage Controls. So the Damage Warriors or the Damage Warriors. I don't know, but something along them lines. Anyway, so I'll go with Io Sky for that one, but I don't say it with any great confidence. Second to last match will obviously be CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Very short prediction for this. AJ Lee and CM Punk goes over. And the reason why I'm not even going to review it that much, even though I'm really looking forward to the match and I think it will be superb, I'm really looking forward to seeing AJ Lee, because I absolutely loved her back in the day. She was so cool. The reason why I'm being a bit dismissive is because that if you use Wrestling Logic 101, whoever gets the better of the person before the PLE, guaranteed it's as old as wrestling and time immemorial, is going to be the one that eats the pin. And that was Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, who basically got over CM Punk and AJ on Raw, was it? When they did a sneak attack on AJ. So Punk kind of could do with a win as well. Obviously, I know he won the world title against Gunther, but then he lost it straight away. He's lost the 4-way. He's lost the match with, I think, a tag match with LA Knight or something like that. So he's not on a good track record at the minute, at least in televised matches. So, he could do with something, and you would think that WWE would think, right, well, to keep AJ Lee sweet and to keep her husband sweet, we could do without not rehiring her and not giving her a victory. And I mean, they can always run it back as well. I think probably where the money is for AJ Lee to stay on, and then she faces Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title, because that's what people will want to see. Obviously, I don't think we get Seth and CM Punk till, I think I'll hold it off till WrestleMania next year, and I think Punk, I've said this all along, I think it's CM Punk's time next year, because if they're going to give him that WrestleMania moment of winning the world title, it's going to have to be next year, because I mean, well, I'm sure Punk will be able to go for at least another 4 or 5 years, but I mean, time's getting on. I mean, CM Punk is my age, he's like 45. In fact, I think he's a year older than me, I think he's 46, something like that. If they're going to make him world title and give everyone the feel good moment, it's going to have to be pretty soon, to be honest. So, yeah, I'll go with CM Punk and AJ Lee on that one. And then, as for which you would assume would be the main event of all the main events and all the matches we talked about this afternoon. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. I don't know if anyone remembers this from around 2012. I think it was 2012, 2013. So this was the night after Cena first lost to The Rock at Mania. And then Brock Lesnar came out and Cena went to shake his hand and Brock F5'd him. It'd be the first time Brock had been in WWE for, at that point, what, 6 years, 7 years or something daft like that. And then they had a feud. And then everyone thought in the feud, well, Cena will just go over, that'll be fine. And then Brock absolutely annihilated him. Basically, long story short, I'm expecting exactly the same thing. Purely for the fact that I think it sets up Cena's last ever match. Now, I know some people will be really okay with this. And don't get me wrong, it's not the worst match that you could have to end a career. But bearing in mind, John Cena, literally, even with the dates, is going to be in WWE for literally 10 weeks. 11 weeks, maybe, I think it might be. That is how little time we have with Cena. And I was getting a bit concerned about this even like a month ago when he started the feud with sort of Logan Paul. Because I'm kind of like, he's only got 11 dates left. Why are we throwing in random matches with Logan Paul? I mean, by the way, that was one of the matches of the year, so fair play to WWE. They know far better than I do. But then when he got attacked by Brock, I'm like, oh. If he's got 10 appearances left at that point, a feud with Brock Lesnar is going to take at least 6 or 7 of them up. And what's he doing for his last 2? I genuinely don't know. I think Brock Lesnar is going to be Cena's last 2 matches. Honestly, I think in Australia they could have a shock where maybe Roman Reigns comes back, for example, and they have a one-on-one match. I don't know, because the Australia one, obviously, it's a huge market for WWE, so they're going to want to do something massive with Cena. So maybe Roman comes back if he's finished doing Street Fighter at that point. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many more scenes and days Roman's got on it, but I mean, you can't imagine he's going to be there for more than another month. So maybe that works. But personally, I think the whole Brock Cena thing is now going to be the end of John's career. I think he's got 5. Is it 5 appearances, 6 appearances? So if it's 5 appearances, I mean, he's only got 4 after this. So I think Brock Lesnar basically puts him in the hospital. He comes out for a Raw. Then he goes to Australia. I think then he's away filming for 4 or 5 weeks, and then he comes back in the December. I mean, you can't do a feud with 2 Monday night, well, a Monday Night Raw and a Saturday night's main event, because the Monday Night Raw is going to be banned enough as it is, unless they do some mad thing where Cena just says on the last Monday Night Raw, right, tell you what, whoever wants to fight me, we'll have 5 matches in one night. Which actually, do you know what? I'd actually really like that. That'd be awesome. But that isn't practical, and that's not going to happen. So the only alternatives to it being Brock for the last 5 appearances for Cena that I can possibly think of are Roman Reigns. You could do a one and done with that. That doesn't have to be. You would have thought they would advertise it, but if you drop that on Monday Night Raw, like, it's going to get a monster number, and you don't even have to advertise it. But you'd imagine that it would. If it's not Roman Reigns, obviously it's going to be Brock Lesnar for the whole last 5 appearances, and that's the feud that ends John's career. And then Brock can say, see, this is the thing I'm thinking of. If Brock beats Cena in 2 matches, he gets to say, not only did I, well, technically speaking, not only did I retire The Undertaker, but I also retired John Cena, which I know it isn't strictly speaking true, but this is WWE we're talking about. They won't miss a chance to follow up on that, and basically that cements Brock as one of the greatest, if not greatest, wrestlers of all time. He can then turn around and say, I've not won as many titles as Cena, I've retired the 2 greatest pro wrestlers of all time, whatever the case may be. The only other option, and I've given this a lot of thought, I really wanted Cena to face Joe Hendry, but I've accepted that is not going to happen now. The only other realistic one, and it's not even that realistic, if you want to put John Cena over in one of the most watched matches of all time, because his last appearance will be one of the most watched matches of all time, the only other person other than Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar that you could do who is currently available is the Great One himself, The Rock. Is it realistic to expect The Rock and John Cena for the 3rd time? I would probably suggest not, unless they just turn around and say, look, CM Punk was always Cena's greatest opponent, and CM Punk puts John Cena over one more time. And I'm sure he'd be happy to do so as well, because obviously they've got a really fantastic relationship. But they've already done Punk. That's the trouble. So they've done Punk, Cena, they've done Cody Rhodes Cena, they've done Randy Orton Cena. Obviously he's done the Logan Paul thing, he's had interactions with Jey Uso. I would have loved to have seen something with Bron Breakker and Jake Fatu, but obviously Breaker's in the Vision, so that would make him look not better than Rollins, but it kind of puts him in a bigger profile match than Rollins, which they don't want what to do. And obviously Jacob Fatu has dropped off considerably quite a bit in the last couple of months due to the horrendously stupid booking of him and Solo Sikoa, which don't even get me started on that, by the way. So there's no one else really credible other than a Rock, a CM Punk, a Roman Reigns, or a Brock Lesnar. Put it this way, it's one of those 4 for Cena's last opponents. I mean, I would have loved it to have been Joe Hendry. Maybe not the last appearance, but I would have loved to have seen him face Joe, but I just don't see that happening. However, I think, unfortunately, I know a lot of people will be thrilled by this, and that's fine if you really like Brock. I mean, I like Brock for his wrestling, not necessarily for other things. It's a perfectly acceptable way for Cena to go out, but it's kind of like, I was kind of hoping for him to face a couple more people than that, but that's just my opinion. But in terms of the match itself, to set up Brock Cena, his last ever match, which is what I'm predicting is going to happen, I think Brock absolutely annihilates Cena and drags him all over the ring and basically batters him. And then that you've got the story of why Cena's like not available till Australia or whatever, and then his like final 2 appearances. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for them just doing a shock value Lesnar. I mean, it wouldn't even be a shock if he went over on Lesnar, unless of course it is a one and done. He beats Lesnar, Lesnar moves on, and then Cena can do different things for his last 5 appearances. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, folks, that was cool. I enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching everything. So, just to reiterate what's happening on Saturday. So, because of my wonderfully good news about none of my family members disturbing me or getting my way on a Saturday for a change, which is awesome, I'm going to be going to watch at least the second half of the Merseyside derby. I'll try and see if I've got capability to watch the whole match, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I'm going to do a live reaction from somewhere in Leeds City Centre, if I can get away from the boys. If not, I'll do it like when I get home, basically. About 3 hours after that, I will be doing shorts and a vlog for AEW All Out, which I'm going to be watching from 7 o'clock. And then I'll do a live reaction to that. Then I'll give myself 3 hours break to watch Wrestlepalooza on Netflix, and then I'll be doing a live reaction for that as well. So there's going to be a monster truckload of content on the Geek Boy Mess channel. Otherwise, run on its own, by myself, by yours truly, with the hat. So yeah, I'm going to be on loads and loads on Saturday. So yeah, I hope everyone can join me for Saturday for the Merseyside derby, for AEW All Out, and for WWE Wrestlepalooza. Like I said, really looking forward to it. I've already got the bottle of wine ready. Sorry, glass of wine even. Sorry, YouTube. And I will be getting a lovely, delicious kebab to watch at to eat even at around 1:30 in the morning, as you do when you want to keep healthy. And yeah, no, it's going to be really, really cool. Yeah, so that's it, folks. Basically, thanks everyone for watching. The next time I'll be on before all that, though, if you are a fan of these lovely guys, I'll be back on this evening. As I was saying to my good friend Johnny, there is a possibility I might get to see again the second half this evening, and there's a possibility I might watch it in town, but I'm not sure about what's happening at this minute because of work and various other bits and pieces. If not, I'll be doing the match reaction at about 10:30 this evening. It may be in Leeds City Centre due to again, other events that are taking place in Leeds City Centre this evening involving several of my townspeople who are voicing their displeasure at the arrival of a certain person to this country that the locals have not taken very kindly to, if you spell what the Rock is cooking. So yeah, I might possibly be in town. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'll be doing a match reaction tonight. I may have to change the time of it, so just bear with me on that one. I will definitely be doing AW Dynamite reaction again. I'm hoping about 9 o'clock in the morning for that one, but it may have to be sort of 10 o'clock. I will see how the next. Basically, I've got to see how time goes at the minute, because I've got a lot of bits and pieces that I need to do in terms of filming, in terms of work, in terms of various fiascos and nonsense, basically. But yeah, cool. Yeah, so I'll be on literally tonight, and I'll be on early hours of tomorrow morning, and then the next time I'll see all you guys will be on Saturday for, yeah, like I said, the Mersey Derby, AEW All Out, and Wrestlepalooza. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. In terms of cool stuff coming up, like I said, I'm doing this thing. Obviously, we just had the Summer of Geek. Thank you for everyone for participating in that. It was really wonderful, and we've literally ended up doubling our subscription count in the space of like 2 to 3 months, which is insane. But I'm going to do something in the winter called Geekoween, which, as if you're a subscriber, you'll have heard me say this before. My son says sucks as a name, but it's my channel, and I turned around and said, "Look, son, I'll call it what I want." But yeah, basically, Geekoween is going to be like Halloween themed stuff. So I'm going to be going to Sheffield Comic Con on 5th of October. So I'll be going live from there, I think. If not, it'll be a vlog and shorts. While I'm in Sheffield, I'm going to be going to Meadowhall and also to Sheffield United, where I'm going to do like a live stream from there, hopefully. 2 weeks after that, I will be going to Leeds Gothica, which is an alternative goth slash horror slash folk market at Leeds Kirkgate Market, where it's got loads of gothy horror stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a live stream of that. Day after that, I'm going to Barnsley Comic Con, and about an hour before that, I'm going to be going to Oakwell, which is where Barnsley Football Club play, which is next to the Metrodome, where they're having a Comic Con. A week after that, I'm going to Leeds Light Night, which is, long story short, it's where the residents of Leeds shine a load of big lights all over the buildings in the city. Why they do that, I don't know, but it does look cool. So I'm going to be going along to that. And then after that, I will be going to Hull Horror Fest in Hull, obviously. And yeah, that's really, really cool. I went last year. Obviously on my channel, I've got Geek Boy Does Horror, so all my horror stuff's on there as well if you want to have a look. There's a vlog from Hull Horror Fest if you want to see what happened. Very, very cool. They had like zombie death pits and things like this, and like Walking Dead stuff and Pennywise things and Terrifiers. It was very cool. So yeah, and then I'll be watching Predator Badlands to end it all off. So yeah, I'm calling it Geekaway. There'll probably be another couple of bits and pieces as well. I will be doing something live on Halloween night. I'm considering doing a watch along. In fact, I might even run a poll on the channel for Halloween night. That's just popped into my head. What is your favourite horror? What's your favourite scary movie? What's your favourite horror film, and who would want to watch, basically? But I'll let you know if I'm going to do that. But yeah, I might run a poll. Anyway, if you're just interested in wrestling, thank you very much for putting up with that little spiel. Yeah, cool. Nice one. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, the video for this should be out sort of tomorrow afternoon, so you can watch it as a preview, and it'll be out on YouTube Sounds and YouTube Podcasts again tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, cool. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all for Merseyside Derby, AEW All In, and Wrestlepalooza. See you on Saturday.